The reception and the image looks better this time. Wow. So the message was on point, but the image looked bad. So this time, hopefully I got a better reception. And today we're going to talk about alcohol. And if you're an alcoholic, listen up. If you're not an alcoholic and you know someone that is, listen up. This is really important. I don't know if y'all know this, but statistics tell us things. And when you notice a hockey stick graph kind of statistic, 10% of the population dies from alcohol every year. 10% of the population dies from alcohol every year. Wow, y'all. That means that 1 in 10 people you know dies from alcohol. Another 10% are totally disabled for life by alcohol. 20% of the population is destroyed by alcohol every year. Read it. It's bad. Like, this is really bad. This article I printed is from it's from, what the heck is it from? National Library of Medicine, PubMed Central, PMC. The number on it is 7504034. Alcohol addiction, gut microbiota, and alcoholism treatment, a review. It's from 2020, September, and it was published on my birthday. Good stuff. So what's going on here is that alcohol addiction is the leading risk factor for personal death and disability worldwide. Alcohol. It kills 10% of all of us on the planet. The pandemic doesn't even compare to alcohol. Alcohol is a genocide on humanity. It's right there. They sell it in gas stations. It's a crime. It's a crime against humanity. So if you're addicted to alcohol, listen up. Here we go. I was for years. It took me a long. This is a precursor to a show about how to recover from alcohol, and hopefully we'll make the point and you can do it for yourself. I did it for myself. This is how I did it. First, by acknowledging that you've got a 1 in 10 chance of killing yourself, committing self-deletion if you continue to drink alcohol. And, friend, you have a 1 in 10 chance of permanently disabling yourself or someone else. Actually, it's greater because it would be a 2 in 10 chance. 2 in 10. Addiction is a leading risk factor for personal death and disability. In 2016, alcohol use created 2.2% of female deaths and 6.8% of male deaths, and disability adjusted life years dailies were 2.3% in female and 8.9% in male. 20% of the population either dies or is killed by disabled by alcohol. It's a tragedy. All right. So this article is about using probiotics to treat your alcoholism. Of course, they're going to want to do GMO'd versions that modify you. And Fermenti wants you to eat a proper diet. We'll go over that in the longer show. Again, this is just a preview to get your attention. Because, friend, 1 in 10 of your friends is going to die. 2 in 10 of those friends are going to be disabled for life. Are those odds that you want to play with? No. I hope that you don't. From personal experience, playing with those odds is a disaster. Disaster. I can speak from personal experience, the pain and the ramifications that come from poor decision making. It's never a good decision to drink alcohol. Think of your children, think of your family, think of your friends if you have any. Think of your microbiome. Listen to this amazingness about the microbiome and what you're doing to your microbiome and how correcting your microbiome makes you not want alcohol because it satisfies a genetic discrepancy that you are damaging through the alcohol. If you continue to damage it, what happens is that you never recover and you're a victim to the alcohol forever. And if you can break that cycle by simply giving yourself nutrition, you can break away from the alcohol. It's totally doable, friend. It's totally doable. You have to say no and eat the sauerkraut and do it together. It'll be in the longer show coming soon. Alcohol use disorder, AUD, or what is commonly called alcohol addiction, is a leading risk factor for personal death. That's right, personal death. So the part we're going to skip to real quick is the alcohol addiction and the gut-brain axis. As we stated above, alcohol addiction is associated with absorption impairment in the duodenum, leading to malnutrition and impaired liver storage of thiamine. Alcohol liver disease is one of the most common preventable diseases in the world, including asymptomatic liver stenosis, fibrosis, cirrhosis, and alcohol hepatitis. Among patients with AUDs, alcohol liver disease is the most common cause of death. Not only is it the most treatable condition in the world, it's the leading cause of death in the world. And they would have us to think otherwise. It's a genocide right in front of your face, friends. In the past decade, the association between the gut, or particularly the gut microbiota, and alcohol liver disease has raised researchers' attention among individuals with alcohol addiction. Alcohol consumption breaks down the gut barrier function, also called leaky gut. The intestinal barrier is composed of enterocytes, goblet cells, and antimicrobial substances affecting the intestinal microbiome within a mucus layer. The numerous immune cells in the lamina propria, we do not clearly understand how alcohol or its metabolite acetaldehyde induces leaky gut. However, intestinal dysbiosis, immune system activation, and inflammation may play essential roles. If you watch our old shows, you'll understand how the inflammation process increases the cytokine content that then opens the door to the hijack of the viruses, of the cryptosporidia, of the mold spores, of the enemies of your body. So if you take one drink of alcohol, there's a 72-hour window where your immune system is inflamed, broken, and dysbiotic. Let's go to the bar, friends. Let's have casual sex. Let's go and just rub ourselves all over each other and drink and destroy our immune systems and get a whole bunch of random protein in places where it just can't be digested anymore and becomes virulent. And that's the 20% that's destroyed every year. Alcohol is the leading cause of disease in the world. It causes cell disruption, leaky cell walls. It's part of the hijack. Without glycolation, there could be no pandemic. Without glycolation, there could be no malnutrition. If you eat sugar and you eat alcohol at the same time, I challenge you, friend, to a little homework. Figure out what alcohol and sugar does in your gut. And if you're not terrified at that point, then I don't know what to tell you. My angry face won't be enough to convince you at that point. Intestinal dysbiosis is the alteration of the gut microbiota, which is characterized by intestinal bacteria taxa changes such as decreased levels of anti-inflammatory bacteria, including FP and bifidobacteria, and increased abundance of proteobacteria. This is the mutagenic connection. Proteobacteria. What's going on is that because you're destroying the vitality of your system, your microbiome, fake microbiomes want to sneak in and hijack yours. It's very simple to understand. Once you get it, once you see it, you don't unsee it because it's the backbone of the medical industry. Keep drinking, friend. Keep drinking, and doctor will be waiting patiently for your return. So the current medical treatments are stop. That's the number one medical treatment is intervention. Just stop. Then recovery can begin, and recovery is all through nutrition. Even in their own research here, they say that nutrition is the best recovery method. So alcohol addiction, number 5, current and potential medical treatment for alcohol addiction. Alcohol addiction involves various neurotransmitters and their receptors in the brain, including dopamine, serotonin, opioid peptides, glutamate, and GABA. Current pharmacological treatment for alcohol addiction targets the above neurotransmitter system. 3 medications for alcohol addiction are approved in the United States by the Food and Drug Administration: disulfiram, acamprotase, and naltrexone. Nalmefene is approved in Europe and European Medicines Agency and is recommended by the National Institute of Health and Care Excellence in the United Kingdom. The details of the above medications are described below. And they're found to be inadequate. They don't work properly. It's like the old ion gating technology of SSRIs. Things of the past, friends. Get ready for probiotics. They're going to microbiologically change your gene expressions so that you can have a better day at work, so that you can put up with the slavery a little better. Drink your alcohol, modify your microbiome, get back to work. This just pisses me off, man. Like this is animal abuse. Like, really. Like, I mean, these people hate you, and the way they talk about you, the public, is it's kind of repugnant. Like, it's kind of repugnant. I don't. So the conclusion: 2016, alcohol use caused numerous deaths, reduced dailies worldwide, and was the 7th leading risk factor for disease burden, in particular among the working age population. In addition, the other 2 leading causes of death in this particular age group were road injuries and self-harm, which are also highly associated with alcohol consumption. Alcohol addiction among this working age population may change the course of their lifetime. Craving for alcohol and non-stop drinking can ruin an individual's employment opportunities and can even lead to severe physical illness such as liver disease, cardiovascular disease, and different types of cancer. Moreover, alcohol addiction causes poor intake and impairs individuals' cognitive functions. All the modern Western diseases summed up in one paragraph, friends. It's almost like there's a secret causative agent to the Western condition. I wonder what that secretive causative agent could be. Could it be glycolation? Could it be glycolation? It says that the medications for alcohol-related illnesses are proven to be somewhat effective with different mechanisms for different medications. But they say that the side effects are deleterious and kind of outweigh the benefits on some of the medications. The others, they work, but it works with saying no to alcohol. See, it's only an enforcer to saying no. It doesn't actually solve the malnutrition issue. 12 steps is BS because they never teach you how to cook. They never teach you how to eat. They never teach you the psychology of consumption. I went through 12 steps and I can tell you how disappointing it is when you find out it's just an adjunct therapy to criminal law. It's not meant to make you better. It's meant to get you points off your stuff so you can get you back out on the road so you can do your job for the. Another potential treatment, go friends. This is where it all goes with these people. Every single time, this is where it goes. All modern medicine leads to genetic modification. It's the great DNA hijack. This is what I call it. This is what Fermenti calls it. If you want to know what the plan is, it's easy. It's genetic modification. All life on the planet, genetically modified. So everything that seems crazy and weird in the world, the gun grabbing, why are the politicians so corrupt? It's like, why does everybody hate each other? Why? No, God, why? Well, it's because they're going to genetically modify you. That's what it's all for. Trust me. Just trust me. And if you can't do that, watch the old shows and listen to the research. It's nothing but peer-reviewed science. It's nothing but peer-reviewed research. And when we collect it, put it together in the timelines on our sauerkraut treatment videos, you will see that what's going on is a unified, across-the-board consortium of national, transnational corporations, all Western corporations, leading this charge towards genetic modification. And anything will be used to get people to take the probiotics, because that is how they're going to genetically modify the planet, is with probiotics. Single cell delivery technology. In our shows, again, I have a whole show on the technology that Bill Gates is talking about when he says putting vaccines on the food. This isn't woo-woo science. This is an actual single spore, adjuvant, non-adjuvant resistant technology made from lactobacillus sauerkraut genes, bifidobacterium. So when they talk about modifying your gut, that's the goal. They don't have a problem with alcoholism because it gets their goal. Alcohol is the #1 killer. It's the #1 opportunity they have to modify you. Another potential treatment, gene editing approaches, has been used for genetic diseases such as A1 antitrypsin deficiency, B fibromyalgia, sickle cell anemia, muscular dystrophy, Leber congenital amyloidosis, and cystic fibrosis. However, more gene therapies based on these techniques are still under research because there are many challenges, including technology limitations, safety concerns, and ethical moral issues, which are at the bottom of the barrel. Ethical moral issues. See, the ethical issue is stopping the death. The moral issue is stopping the ramifications of the comorbidities, the damage that the alcoholics are doing to the planet, and then the what's it called, the death and disability, the disability part. See, that's the moral ramification, friend, and that's what they'll use to bring equity to the healthcare. So although gene editing approaches might expedite the progression of gene therapy for the treatment of alcoholism, the associated challenges may be overcome to maximize the potential of gene therapy to translate to the clinics and improve healthcare outcomes. For clinical application, identification of candidate genetic variants that regulate response to these novel medications which treat alcoholism is needed. Fortunately, the growing availability of genetic health record data has enabled the establishment of large-scale and electronic data banks, and those banks are advantageous to offer important opportunities to develop this area of research for the treatment of alcoholism. So there you go. It's all in silico AI modeled, and the treatment they're going to come up with is going to be generated by AI. So they're going to cure your alcoholism by turning you into an AI slave. It's pretty smart because you're going to run to it because you're an alcoholic and you don't know no better. And this therapy, I'm telling you, is going to be pretty amazing when they turn these people around. Through just a couple of doses, people are going to be blown away, blown away. But the price was you sacrificing your soul to the GMO gods. That's your choice. You're welcome to do that. And this is a democracy, so you can vote my rights away too. Isn't that nice? How does force feel? How does it feel, friend, to take away the rights of organic people everywhere for moral expediency? Fascism. That's fascism. It's food fascism in a way because alcohol is a food. It's regulated by the FDA. And if you understand the video I did about the Bud Light PSYOP that just happened, you'll understand what that bail-in was all about, getting, all that funding redirected towards Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch in a restructuring. Yep. Don't want to talk about it too much on YouTube. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of more information about the alcoholism and on the sauerkraut treatment for alcoholism that'll be coming soon on the Rumbles. We'll go over the protocol on how you too can become free from the #1 killer on the planet. Viruses don't even hold a candle against alcohol. You see, when Bill Gates said, if a virus that had 10% mortality showed up, it would get their attention then, wouldn't it? Fuck that. This isn't getting anyone's attention. Alcohol is the #1 killer on the planet. Kills 10% of the people. Totally permanently maims 20%. No coverage. No coverage. So, friends, it's all make-believe. It's all fantasy. It's all whatever they want it to be. And it all leads to genetic modification. All roads lead to Rome on that one. So the #1 killer on the planet, totally ignored. Something that's totally engineered gets all the attention. So, thank you for that. It was very nice to let that rant out because it felt good. So I have a lot of buyer's remorse for all the purchases I made into the alcohol system, and it came after a lot of disappointment, knowing that things are the way they are. And I drank myself silly because it's just too depressing. This world is depressing when you realize that it's run by tyrants and it's populated by sheeple. Wow. I mean, try to have a $160 IQ in that world and not be a part of the. I don't know what to tell y'all other than the research we've made for you is free. We want you to be absolutely healthy by your own standards, by your own franchise. And if that's a thing that you're into, then watch the old research because it's voluminous. Each show takes about 10 hours or more of research to put together. Unlike other shows on the internet that talk about genetic modification, that talk about the things that we talk about, we actually provide you with solutions. The point of each show revolves around a solution, not just, hey, look at that, hey, look at that, hey, look at that. Aren't I smart for noticing? Give me a donation. Okay, we don't care about your donations. We don't care about your money. We care about your health and your freedom, because within each person is a microbiome, and that microbiome has a beautiful potential to grow into a wonderful human being with feelings and compassion and a connection to the world around them. The center of their microbiome, their choice. Making choices with other microbiomes in conjunction, in harmony, in symbiosis. The way it was, friends, before these people yoked us to their will. Absolutely trust your gut feeling. Lies are easy to detect when money is involved. And that's one thing that we focus on here at Fermenti is freedom, free. The point of freedom is that it's self-evident. And I made mine. Thank you for that comment. That means a lot to me because you understand what I'm saying. Your freedom makes me rich because it makes us all wealthy. If the tide rises, all boats rise. And that's the point of the microbiome. That's why they're hijacking it, is because they control the tide. You should learn to make some ferments, Philip. It's really easy. If you're not already, I highly recommend it. And, stay tuned for the sauerkraut treatment alcoholism video because a person like you who can take the arts of chefing, combine it with the art of fermentation, can really do some amazing help in life for people. Just to give you an idea of how you can feel relief with sauerkraut from alcohol, understand that alcohol is sugar. It's a form of sugar. It's an ethyl alcohol sugar carbohydrate, okay? Ethyl alcohol, when your body has to dehydrate it and hydrogenate it and turn it into an esterized alcohol, which is what the body actually wants, ester alcohol, your body has to use thiamine and dehydrogenase lipids in order to manufacture your body back to stability and turn the alcohol into a food. Your body destroys itself in order to digest it, to call it a food. It never was food, it never was helpful, and it never was good for you. Ethylized alcohol is a hijack on ester alcohol. Yes, Philip, this is correct. Alcoholism is sugar disease. It's a form of diabetes mellitus. And people that have alcoholism they have a form of diabetes, and that diabetes isn't a typical type 2 or type 1. It's actually a different condition. They call it a different condition. They call it cirrhosis, fatty liver disease. It's type 3 diabetes. Or God, no wait, sorry. They called dibs on type 3 diabetes. That's now dementia. Dementia is type 3 diabetes. Maybe type 4 diabetes can be liver cirrhosis and hepatitis, because really, honestly, hepatitis is diabetes because it's a sugar disease deficiency. Yeah, it causes deferritinization. It is body rust. The cell wall loses cohesion because the alcohol dissolves the cell wall, and the iron, the ferritin iron that helps bind the cell wall, that dissolves into the blood and causes hyperacidosis. Yep, alcohol is the enemy of humanity, and it is sold in gas stations everywhere. It's a total crime. If people want to, strike back at the system, stop drinking. All right, all right. Thank you, Philip. You, my man. I assume, my man. Um, My person. We'll just go with that. I don't even know what's going on in the world these days. We'll just say my person. But my person has a 1 in 10 chance of dying from alcohols, and that's the point. That's the point of what we're saying here. And I think I've made the point. So we're gonna call it quits on this one. And thank you so much, Philip Thomas, for tuning in. Glad we snagged you. And watch some of our short how to make videos. Each one of those is a raw, wild ferment. The tapache recipe has enough esterized alcohols in it to get you naturally high, natural drunk, which is totally healthy. It turns out in nature that there is healthy alcohol for imbibing. The Mexicans call it chicha. It's basically an enzyme beer. The esterizing process is very important. If it doesn't take the ethyl alcohol and esterize it, it should never be consumed because it's going to destroy your cell functions. So if you watch our video on how to make tepache, that is the most alcohol that your body can naturally consume. So it's not like nature's saying no to you. Nature's saying, hey, do it the right way. Because we have the science to prove that now. And in the longer show about the alcoholism, I'm going to show you the cell pathway that alcohol hijacks and that the sauerkraut takes back because it owned it first anyway. So it's all called symbiosis, and nice. And it's called symbiosis, and your gut was designed way before alcohol ever came into the picture. Alcohol is a hijack. It is a hijack. It's a Babylonian hijack. And the death cult that's in charge of it is got everybody thinking that little things matter when this big thing is sitting right there in the room killing 1 in 10 people every year. So thank you, friends, for letting me bring you this information. Thanks for jumping in that live. That's really awesome. And I see one person just jumped in there. You kind of missed the big, long part of it, but it was about alcoholism. Go back and watch it, I guess. If you have a question, throw it out there real quick. Otherwise, we are done. And we'll look forward to next week's. Maybe it'll be about prions. I have a big show I need to do about prions. They're basically like the fifth estate of life. And they're basically a protein that is the smallest enfolding hemoclamp in nature. And the way they hijack is brilliant. And the way they've hijacked them to GMO them is brilliant. And you guys are going to be blown away when you see how they're putting it in the food. Yes, I will do that. And you do too, sir. I believe that today is a great day. I'm so glad that we crossed paths. Thank you. Look forward to more.